Welcome to Our Devil. Today we are taking a look at r/am I the antagonist. Our first story is from formal date 4926. Am I the antagonist for refusing to split rent with my boyfriend? I, female 23, have been dating my boyfriend, Jake, male 23, since our freshman year of college. In our last year of undergrad, we decided to rent an apartment together. We split everything 50/50. Including utilities, groceries, and rent. We continued living together in the same town as our college after graduation. But recently, we both got jobs in Chicago and we are currently living downtown. My dad works in real estate, and he has multiple investment properties. My dad generously allowed me to live in one of his properties rent-free. But he said that my boyfriend would have to pay him $400 a month for rent. My dad is very protective. But he has been nothing but kind to my boyfriend. My dad's reasoning for making my boyfriend pay rent is that he wants to be sure that my boyfriend is with me for me. And not because he will have a free place to live. Keep in mind, if my dad was renting this apartment out to tenants, he would charge $2,100 a month for rent. Very ritzy building in the middle of downtown Chicago. My boyfriend is mad at me because he asked me for my half of the $400 for rent. And I explained to him that I will not be paying rent. My dad is only charging him. He says that we have been splitting rent for the past 2 years, so why would we stop now? Our rent in our college town was $1,200. So we were both paying $600 a month. Our apartment in Chicago is significantly nicer and he is paying $200 less a month than what he was in college. Is the idea that my dad doesn't charge me for rent, but charges my boyfriend so crazy? Should I suck it up and pay half because I can afford it? Edit. Jake and I still split utilities and groceries 50/50. And when we go out on date nights, we switch off who pays for it. If he pays 1 week, I'll pay the next. Comment by STA City. Not the antagonist. A nice ritzy building. Check located in downtown. Check only $400/month. Double check near your jobs. Check getting the family discount from GF's dad. Check what more does your BF want. Clearly he's not seeing the bigger picture. He's getting a lot of perks because of you and he only has to pay a fraction of the rent. Doesn't he realize that millions don't have that luxury in these critical times of the economy? Plus he's failing miserably with your dad's test. Suspicions are kinda right. Comment by Slinky Malinky 20. Not the antagonist, but I think your dad might see something in your boyfriend that he's hoping you will soon see. Comment by KR0 Male B0 Pelosmichael. Not the antagonist. Your boyfriend needs to understand that it's not that you aren't paying rent. Just that your dad is paying your share. Put him in your shoes. If his parents covered his rent, would he be obligated to also cover half of your half? Our next story is from Beneficial Gas 2232. Am I the antagonist for giving my mother-in-law the wrong address so she could no longer send her granddaughter gifts? I, 42 male, have been married to my wife, 39 female, for 15 years. We have a wonderful 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. My wife's mother has some views that I don't agree with. 2 years ago, for our daughter's 12th birthday, she sent her a book about crash dieting that promised something like 10 pounds of weight loss in 3 days. Our daughter was devastated because the underlying message was clear as day. It was a month until she started eating a whole plate of food for dinner again. Our daughter is a healthy girl. She is highly active, studious, and most importantly, happy. Her grandmother believes that she's not reaching her full potential, whatever that means, and thinks that she'll be on the front covers of magazines if she can just shed some weight. Since she made these views clear to me, I have made it my mission to block any unsupervised contact. And this includes gifts. About a month ago, with my daughter's upcoming 14th birthday, Grandma texted me asking for our new address. Normally she would ask my wife. But since she didn't answer within 10 minutes, she texted me instead. My wife would have given her our real address. But I was able to respond first with a fake one and tell my wife no response was necessary. I couldn't guarantee that I'd be home to intercept any gifts. And my daughter would open something addressed to her. It gave her some numbers / a street somewhere that I wasn't even sure existed. A couple of weeks later, After my daughter's birthday, I realized that it did not in fact exist as her package was returned to her. Both she and my wife were furious. And my wife amended the address I gave her before. Grandma insisted it was a completely innocent package. Well, the day it was scheduled for delivery, I decided to work from home. When it arrived, I opened it up and found a baton-twirling uniform, my daughter's hobby. Sound innocent enough? It was at least 2 sizes too small. I sat my wife down with the stupid thing in front of us and said it was clearly intentional. Which my wife refuses to acknowledge. Now she and her mother are even madder at me for throwing the uniform into the neighbor's garbage, with the neighbor's permission. Did I handle this correctly? Comment by Popular Emu 7380. So, I applaud you standing up for and protecting your daughter. For that, you are not the antagonist. While people are quick to say you are. As you didn't communicate with your wife, given that she refuses to see an issue with her mother doing this. I disagree with Reddit, and you are not the antagonist there. As well. Bravo to you for prioritizing your daughter. She needs someone in her corner. For sure. That being said, I would make an appointment for couples counseling. And talk to the counselor specifically about this issue. How your wife doesn't have concerns with it. You two do need to communicate. And get on the same page. Your mill needs to stop bullying and body shaming your daughter. Who sounds like a normal, healthy child. Mother-in-law can go pound sand. I would go as far as to talk to your daughter. Does she even want to see Mill? Otherwise, go low/no contact. Comment by Pitiful Standard 808. I would be scared that if your wife isn't backing you up on this, is she also telling your daughter these things when you're not there? Comment by Summer Oracle. Not the antagonist. Your wife is disrespecting your values as the other parent. And your daughter's mental well-being. In order to enable her mother's incredibly disgusting behavior. You've already experienced the damage it did previously. Your wife is being irresponsible by allowing it to happen again. She needs her eyes opened to the harm she's opening her daughter to. Our next story is from Throwaway 61565. Am I the antagonist for literally showing my dad how he behaves every day when he gets home from work? My female 16 father male 46 is the breadwinner, while mom is a stay-at-home mom. She handles everything around the house like cooking, mopping, washing, laundry, etc. I'm the oldest and I try to help, but really there's only so much I can do while my dad just gets home at the end of the day and literally complains about everything. Like how the carpet isn't clean or how the food is cold. As a result, I'd have to listen to a huge argument daily between him and mom. It's exhausting, but honestly, I think that my dad is in the wrong here. I tried talking to him to get him to see how his behavior is, but to no avail. So what I did was pick a day off for him and pretend to act like him. I put together an outfit that looked like a suit and put black tape over my lips to look like a mustache. At 6 p.m., I went inside the house, shouted, "I'm home," then sat next to him in the living room and started kicking my shoes while complaining about the state of the house at the top of my lungs. He glanced at me confused, asking what I was doing. I ignored him, then started yelling about the carpet being dirty, shower not ready, the kids needing to be quiet, and so on. He kept staring while mom and my siblings laughed. My youngest brother kept pointing towards me saying, "This is daddy." I then proceeded to yell about dinner, then berated my mom for not preparing oot before time. My dad stopped me and in a serious tone asked what I was doing. I turned to him and said, "What?" Can't a man effing rest after working long hours? In the most macho voice I could muster. My dad got the hint because this was the common phrase he uses daily. He went quiet and avoided looking at me. I stopped the act and told him I was trying to show him what he's like every day when he comes home from work. He said nothing, just went outside and refused to speak to me. Later he went on about how I mocked and invalidated him. That he does work hard and me doing this was disrespectful and invalidating. Mom said it was funny, but also thought I hurt my dad's feelings and I could have gotten the message across some other way instead. Am I the antagonist? Comment by Benevelet Cesar. Not the antagonist first off, but I think you have a good chance here. Listen please, you can acknowledge, "Hey dad. I know that probably did hurt your feelings and I'm sorry. Of course you work hard and provide for us and we appreciate it. But I want you to see that your behavior hurts Mom's feelings. Hurts the family. The fact he went quiet, instead of exploding in anger, to me says there is hope. Like many dudes his age, he struggles to process those emotions. But he recognized he was feeling more embarrassed/hurt than angry, it seems. The key is to understand and withhold judgment. To recenter the convo on not just his pain, but everyone's feeling pain. And moving forward. That's tough. And you're a kid. It's not your responsibility to do it. You would be morally justified to say F off. But I always ask, do you want to win? Or be right? Being right often feels hollow. I hope you win. Edit. There's so many kind replies, so firstly thanks to those folks. Comment by Mimi Universe. Not the antagonist. You held up a mirror to his behavior. And he didn't like what he saw. That's on him. I hope he gets the message. Comment by C. Schmidt USA. I am going to go with not the antagonist. This is genius. He didn't hear your words or your mom's words the many times you both told him the issues. Instead, you made him watch himself, and people don't like when a mirror is held up to their actions. As well. You are 16. And it is not your job to help regulate your parents' emotions. If your dad feels bad, that is on him. Your other methods fell on deaf ears. This one appeared to hit home. Good for you. Op. Our next story is from None. Am I the antagonist for making my husband fly coach while I flew first class? My husband's 33 male company recently chose him to attend a conference in Miami. They chose just him and a few of his coworkers out of a ton of candidates, so it was quite the honor. The company told them that they were allowed to bring their spouses/partners, but that they wouldn't be springing for plane tickets for us. So if they wanted to bring us, they'd have to buy tickets out of their own pockets. My husband asked me, 32 female, if I wanted to go, and I emphatically told him that I did. I'd never been to Florida in my life and I thought it'd be a fun trip. He told me, great. But when we went to the website to buy tickets, he asked if I'd be okay with flying coach even though he'd be flying first class on the way there, coach on the way home. I asked him why we couldn't just fly together, and he replied, first class is just so expensive. I feel bad, but we just can't afford it. Especially if we want to go out and have fun in Miami. The flight is only a few hours. This really bothered me. I understood that a first-class ticket for me would strain our budget a bit, but what kind of a man lives it up in? First class while his wife sits in coach? I asked him just that and he responded, come on. I'm taking you along on my work trip. I earned my first-class seat by working hard. It's my reward. But I insisted that if we truly couldn't afford a first-class seat for me, we could have. It would have hurt a little, but we could have, that he as a gentleman should give up his seat for me. We argued, but he ultimately agreed to give me his seat. We had a good time in Miami, but he's been a little mad at me since. Saying that he earned his first-class seat. That it was free and cost us nothing, unlike my plane ticket. And that I should have just let him enjoy what he'd earned instead of guilting him out of it. I think he's being a baby and that he should have put his wife's comfort above his own. Especially since he made the choice to be cheap. We're very close to his parents, so we've taken this argument to them for mediation, but they are split. His father agrees with me that he wasn't being a gentleman, while his mother thinks that he earned his first-class seat and that I should have let him have it. So I'll ask all of you. Am I the antagonist? Comment by Moonsharebit. You are the antagonist. And I'm so surprised you think you're not here. If you're sticking to outdated gender norms of, a gentleman gives up his seat for a lady, then do you also fetch him his slippers and a stiff drink when gets home wearing your best lipstick? He is 100% right. He earned that seat. His work gifted him first class because of his work, not yours. The fact that he even agreed to allow you to do this shows you what a good person he is to put up with that kind of behavior. So I would promptly apologize for acting spoilt if I was in your position. And perhaps you could give up something you would love for his benefit sometime. Comment by KJ Male 158. You are the antagonist. Not so much for the seat situation. More so your whole outlook on this venture. This was his moment. His trip. He wanted to share that with you. But it seems like that in and of itself wasn't good enough for you. Comment by B03270008. Op disappeared after posting. I'd love to hear an update. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and subscribe to our Devil. See you in the next one.